Alright, hello everyone. It's me back again with another video recap of Dancing with the Stars, Season 25, Week 4, Most Memorable Year. I'm late again. Um, Not trying to give excuses or whatever, but yeah, I'm busy. As you may have probably been able to tell, I am a busy person. So sometimes I just can't get these up when I say I will. So you know what? I'm just not going to say I'm going to get them up by a certain time. I'm just going to get them up whenever. I'm going to aim for Wednesdays, but no promises there. So just saying that so I could, ooh, I like these. Sorry. I just got these, and I just went out with a friend to go to lunch. And I decided to put them on, this outfit on, and I really like it. I really, really like it. Tell me what you think. I like it. I like it a lot. Anyway, so let's go ahead and get into this review. Maybe it'll be quick like it was last week. I don't know. We will see. So up first was, I do remember that I was really frustrated by this week. As soon as I looked, I remember exactly why. So it may not be short. Who knows? I don't know. Up first was Frankie and Whitney. They had a quick step, but they got a 24. I'm just gonna say there was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There were 6 couples that got a 24 last night or Monday night. So that was kind of strange because not all of them deserved 24, and you could have differentiated between the 24 by giving a few of them a lot higher and some of them lower. I don't know why they bunched 6 couples up at a 24. Whenever they do that, it's always odd to me, and I always feel like there's some sort of ulterior motive behind that than just giving 6 couples a 24. Because very rarely, if ever, do 6 couples deserve the same exact score. Like, it just doesn't really happen like that. At least not in this stage in the competition. Maybe later on, you may see that more, but right now, definitely not. But yeah, they had a quick step. I thought this was good. At first, I kind of thought he forgot some of the routine, but I don't think he forgot it, or maybe he did kind of forget or did a step too late or something. I don't know, but there was a moment where he looked like he got jumbled up right there in the middle, and it looked like his footwork it looked like he was trying to get back on because he knew he made a mistake and trying to get back on. So there was a part in it that was kind of rough. But I thought it was actually a pretty good dance. It was a really good dance. It's his second highest scoring dance, so that's good. I thought they did a great job. Whitney's been killing it this season. Frankie's been a surprise. I'm really enjoying this partnership. I didn't think I would enjoy it as much as I have, that I am enjoying it. I never thought that they were going to be like the first couple out or anything, but I just didn't expect for myself to be enjoying them as much as I am, and I really am enjoying them, and I kind of hope that they make the finals this season, to be honest. I would love to see what they can do for a freestyle, and Whitney's really, really, really been on it, so yeah. Up next was Terrell and Cheryl. They had a Viennese waltz, and he also got a 24. I would have given this a 25. The reason I say this is because it was so good. I was so shocked by how much Terrell's improved from last week to this week. The improvement has been incredible. It's been just huge. He's kind of been, as I've been saying, he's been like moving to a place where he's like really getting comfortable with his height and like the height difference between he and Cheryl and all that stuff. I think they hit exactly what they needed to. I think he was completely comfortable with his size in relation to Cheryl. I think that his frame was amazing. It was lovely to look at. Ugh, I hate saying that word, but it was really nice to look at. Cheryl did just an incredible job with the choreography. Cheryl give Cheryl her props. She is a two-time Mirror Ball winner for a reason, and super successful on this show and be on the show for a reason. The woman knows her show. She knows her stuff. She's smart. She knows how to play the game. She's very strategic. Give her her props. I see a lot of people giving others props and stuff. Give Cheryl her props because she really every single time she comes back after she takes a break, she knows exactly what to do and knows exactly how to turn it on and knows how to present her partners to the audience and the judges in the best way possible. So yeah, they got a 24. I would have given it a 25. I would have thrown out a 9 just because I was that impressed by them. Up next was Nikki and Artem. They had a 24 also. They had a contemporary. And I thought this was really good too. Again, I think this probably should have been tied for, this should have been one of the only 24s of the night. I think having her and Frankie at a 24 and probably Derek at a 24, um, maybe, I think that would have been good. But yeah, it was a good dance. It was really good for her. She finally had her moment that I've been waiting for her to break through. For me, it finally felt like she connected to the dance and was like fully there in the moment and wasn't kind of like second guessing herself. I think has been the issue. I feel like she's just the confidence hasn't been there, and I think that's kind of the thing that's been going on. Is there's been a confidence issue, and I think she really, because she was able to tell her story, because she was able to truly connect to this dance in a way that she may not have been able to connect to the other dances. I think that may be why she was able to really go for it this week and really just show her stuff. Um, she really showed it off everything well. Artem did a great job with the choreography. I love the silks at the beginning. She didn't get caught up and lost in those, which was really good because you could get so lost in those. Um, I just thought they did a great job. Um, was it my favorite contemporary? No, I don't really like contemporary anyway. But I thought it was a decent contemporary. It's one of the better, is better than a lot of the contemporaries that we see on the show where it's kind of flaily and whatnot. So kudos to them. Nice job. Up next was Nick and Peta. They had a contemporary as well, and they got a 22. So the first time of the night that somebody didn't get a 24. I don't know what the heck Carrie Ann was smoking when she gave this an 8. She gave this, the only person that she gave anything less than an 8 to was Derek. For her to think that this dance was better than Derek is crap. To think the fact that she thinks this dance was as good as Frankie, Terrell, Nikki, Vanessa, Drew, and Sasha even, to think that she thought that those dances were equal is insane. And I know that's kind of ableist or whatever, but I'm sorry. I mean, I don't know how else to describe it. Like, Carrie Ann really does some silly things, and this is one of them. This dance was terrible. It looked like Peter was just trying to find things to make him look as not as awkward as he actually is. Because even the stuff that he did was very awkward. When she said he was light on his feet, I was like, no, because when they were doing like those jump things or whatever, I could literally hear him stomping. And you couldn't hear him stomping, but the way his feet were hitting the ground, I could tell that he was stomping. He was not light on his feet for this dance. It just was odd. It wasn't good. He's a very awkward mover. He's not a good dancer. I posed this question to Courtney from Pure DWTS last on Monday, but I'm sitting here wondering if he's the worst boy bander we've ever had on the show. Um, because I've been thinking about it, and I'm like, I don't think there's ever been a boy bander who's been as bad as he is. They've had their bad dances, don't get me wrong, but I don't think overall they've ever been quite as bad as him. Um, the only person that people are talking about that maybe fill that role is Joey McIntyre, but then that's not very fair because he was on the first season of the show. The first season of the show was very much different than it is right now. The first season of the show was very different than it was during season two. So it was just bad. It was such a bad dance, and he doesn't want to be there. It's so obvious that he doesn't want to be there. He can't dance. I just want him to go. And I know that sounds mean, but to put him out of his misery, to put Peter out of his misery, to put me out of my misery, because I don't want to keep watching them. Um, and to just save other better dancers from leaving, which we're probably going to lose one of them this week just because they scored him so screwy. The dance should have been like a 1918. It shouldn't have been a 22. Whatever. Up next was Lindsay and Mark. They had a Viennese waltz and they got a 26. I personally thought it should have been a 28. I loved her quality of movement through this dance. I'm not sure what happened, but there's something about her quality of movement that I haven't seen from her before. And I'm not sure what it was that kind of smoothed out her entire body, including her upper half, because she feels really bouncy. But this dance, I'm not sure what it was about it, but she didn't really feel like that. It was very smooth. It was very, it was just a beautiful, elegant dance. It was amazing. Um, Maybe because maybe she felt there with her dad and that kind of grounded her a bit more. I'm not sure, but it was very beautiful to watch. And uh, I really think it should have been a 28. It really should have been 28. Up next was Derek and Sharna. They had a jazz. They got a 23. It should have been about a 24 or 25. But they ended up leaving. So I'm really upset about that because they've been underscored so much. And I think people figured it out that they were underscored because I'm pretty sure Nick is like next on the chopping block. So it's been like Nick who's like right now next on the chopping block, and like Sasha I feel like is like right around there. Um, I feel like with as a lot of people have said, I feel like they've been underscoring him so much to keep him in a place where Nick was within striking distance of him. And the only way they could do that is by giving them the same score for however many times this season they did. I think the only time they did not get the same score was this week and the first week. Every other dance they got the same score. So I think they got the same score in the first week too. Okay. Regardless, I thought this was a great dance. I thought Sharma's choreography was just so fun, so good. I thought Derek did a great job handling it. I thought he kept up really well. Again, he was a good dancer, and I'm sad because we've been robbed of chance of seeing somebody who has the potential to grow into this incredible dancer just leave so early to save somebody who doesn't want to be there. Um, that bothers me. And yeah, it just bothers me that we were robbed of that opportunity. I really do feel like he could have, if the judges scored him properly and gave him the praise that he should have. I really do feel like he could have made it to like at least week 8. I really do feel like that. But because they did that and because they were very hard on him, it made other people start to think that same way and start to think like, oh yeah, he's not that good or whatever. When truly, truly, if you really, really, really looked at them and you looked at all the guys, obviously Jordan's way out in front. But if you look at the next tier, I would say that the next tier is Drew, Terrell, and Derek. And I would say Derek is better than Terrell and Drew for sure. I think he has a better technique. I think he has the better musicality and better rhythm. And I think he has the potential to, I don't think there's outside factors. Because of Drew and Terrell's height, I feel like that's going to limit some of what they do. Because Derek he's tall, but he's not as tall as they are. I think he has had a little bit more room to grow and play with and all that stuff. So it's just really upsetting. It's really frustrating, especially when it's your favorite couple. And this has happened to me so many times when my favorite couple of the season has been the sacrificial lamb for another couple. That is, and it's just frustrating because it happened with Wanya and Lindsay too. It happened with Nastia and Derek. Ugh, it happened with Simone and Sasha. It happened with Charlie and Sharna. Although they weren't my favorite couple, but they were my second favorite couple. But I'm getting off on a tangent. Let me just go ahead and move on to the next couple, who was Jordan and Lindsay. They had a contemporary. They got a 29. Um, Amazing. It was. I loved hearing their story because I don't know much about Jordan. I found out about him a few weeks before the cast announcement, because I happened to see one of his music videos on my TL, and part of me has been I've been looking for like R&B artists and black male R&B artists who aren't Chris Brown and Trey Songz and August Alsina and all those folks and Bryson Tiller and stuff. I've been looking for like real like people who really sing in R&B and stuff. So I saw one of his videos. I was like, "Ooh, okay." I don't know much about him, but just knowing about hearing how similar his story is to Simone, it makes me very sad, because I'm not sure what race his mom is or whatever, but it's very indicative of kind of the time period that he was born. Um, I think he, I think maybe, I don't know, the crack epidemic of the 80s or whatever, when it was introduced into poorer neighborhoods and stuff. I really feel like that his mom might have been a product of that. And so I don't want to put any labels, but it just feels like you hear a lot of stories like that from kids who were born in the 90s who had to be adopted. And I feel like that might be part of the reason. Regardless, I'm getting on my soapbox about like politics and society and socio, whatever, that stuff. Um, it made me, it was a really good dance. I love this contemporary, as many of you may know or may not know. I don't like contemporary, but it's when it's really done well on this show, is when I really like it, and I really love this dance. And um, I was like, okay, because I saw where the package was going. I was like, I'm not going to lose it, like I did last season with Simone. I was like, I'm not going to lose it. I'm going to keep it together. I'm going to go through this, and I'm going to watch the dance, and I'm not going to cry. So I kept it together through the package, and then like when the dance started, I saw him crying, and I was like, okay, hold on, because that's kind of when I lost it with Simone last season. So I was like, nope, you got it. You don't need to cry right now. You got it. And then tears were starting to flow down my eyes, but I was like, I got it. I got it. And then he went over to his parents and started hugging them, and then I lost it. So, I mean, that's kind of my reaction. Is just, it was beautiful. I love moments like that. Up next was Sasha and Gleb. They had a foxtrot and they got a 24. Um, I don't have much to say about this dance because I truly don't remember it. I will say that Sasha is a decent dancer and she can handle a lot more than what Gleb's giving to her. But I think I said that about Erica and I said that about Jana. So there's something about what Gleb is doing over here in the States that is just not. I don't know why he's like taking the easy route with his partners over here in the States. Because when I saw him a couple of dances with his partner over, I think it was Russia's Dancing with the Stars. Correct me if I'm wrong. But if it was Russia's Dancing with the Stars, I saw one of the dances. I thought he did a really good job on a couple of those dances. And I saw a few of his dances with Anita Strictly. And I thought he did a really good job with her. And it was clear that she wasn't like the most natural dancer. So you have this show where you have Jana, who had potential to be great. You had Erica, who had potential to be great. Now you have Sasha, who has potential. And you have all three of these women who he's just like kind of not really utilizing all of their strengths. And it's just bizarre to me that he really does that. It's very bizarre. And I'm not sure why that is. If it's just like his mindset over on the States, because he sees that a lot of pros, a lot of pros over here don't have to do much to be successful with their partners. Wow. um, and they can win with those partners. Um, if he sees that and he just feels like he doesn't have to do that either, and he could just show up, I don't know if that's maybe part of it, but regardless, I kind of feel like that's it, and it's just not working because Sasha's just not a strong enough personality, and there's really nothing else that he can grasp onto with them because there's no showmance there. There's really nothing else. 2PTV doesn't seem, the powers that be, doesn't seem all that invested in her, so I don't know. But I really don't feel like this dance did her any favors. I don't think her story will resonate with many people. The dance was forgettable. I don't remember the package. I really think that's a recipe for disaster when it comes to most memorable year, and I really do feel like she's going to be eliminated next week. Unfortunate because I'd rather Nick leave over her, but seeing as though the judges overscored him again, she's next. So, up next was Vanessa and Max. They had a 24 as well, and they had a rumba. I thought this dance was slightly overscored, and I will say this: I thought Vanessa looked good, and theoretically, this should have been a really good dance for her. However, um, there was no hip action, and because of that, I would have to take off some points for that. But there was no hip action, and while she really connected, and I could feel the emotion, and I could feel all of that coming from her. It just, I don't know. I think it might have to do with their partnership. I think it's very clear that they're not the best of friends. It is very clear that Max doesn't want to be there. It's very clear that Vanessa is having a good time, but it's also clear that there's a bit of a rift in their relationship, and it's clear with her too. And I can tell that she's trying to get through it more than him because she is a professional and she is somebody who takes her job very seriously, and she is somebody who at least from what I've been able to see, will work through things. It's her partner that's causing the issues, and I think as I said earlier, he's going to be the reason why she leaves when she does, because she could have been somebody in the finale, and I would have been completely fine with her being there because I like her. I think she's a good dancer, and I think with any other pro, she would have been like one of the best dancers this season. But because she's with Max, I really feel like they're because he's not used to having somebody who challenges him. Because there's nothing different about Vanessa than with Aaron or Kirsty or Mel or Layla or even Brandy. There's nothing inherently different about her and the way she interacts with him than with those women. The issue is the timing of their partnership. I feel like she came too late. And I don't think he is used to having people challenge him the way that she does. Um, I don't think he's used to that anymore. I think he's gotten to a place on this show where because he hasn't been on and because he won with Meryl, who essentially it was either going to be her or Charlie that won. Um, because he was with Meryl, who is more, I'm not going to say you can run over her easy because you don't get to be an Olympic gold medalist by being somebody's carpet uh, doormat. But because she was more soft spoken, because you had Amber, who doesn't seem like she likes confrontation too much, and because you had Heather, who really they didn't connect in the first place, I don't feel like. When you have a partner who's there who's going to challenge you and not take your crap and say something back to you and you say something back say something to her, I feel like he just wasn't prepared for it. And it's just caused an issue in their relationship, and I don't think they'll ever be able to get it back. So it's unfortunate that she's with him this season because I really do think that Vanessa could have gone really far and could have been a really, really great dancer with literally any other pro, including his brother. And I'm not the biggest fan of Val. But it happens and it's unfortunate. Up next was Drew and Emma. They had a jive as well, and they got a 24. I thought those Emma, that was a genius move that she did to bring Jonathan in and have a trio. Best move that she could have done. Jonathan is actually a pretty good dancer, and I would say he's a bit more of a natural mover than Drew is. Maybe it might be because he's not as, even though they're like the same height, he's not as like lanky and gangly as Drew is. But I actually thought he did a good job, and I thought this was his best dance. I was kind of worried, but I was worried because it was a jive, and it seemed like it was going to be a happier story, and those tend to get lost in most memorable year. But Emma made sure to make a dance that he wouldn't get lost on, and kind of made it stand out. And I thought it was a good job. Their costumes were great. I loved it, although I feel like this suit jacket might have been a bit ill-fitting. It's just small. Oh, and finally was Victoria and Val. They had a foxtrot and they got a 27. I thought this dance was fine. I thought 1-9 would have been good. I thought 2-9s would have been pushing it, but I could see 2-9s. 3-9s was overboard. And I will say it because it's just her technique. And I'm not saying that as like trying to be mean or anything or whatever, but there's going to have to come a point when the judges get real with her technique and judge her like everybody else. And when I say that, again, I don't mean that to sound mean or anything, but when you look at the way they judged Amy and Noah and Niall, they judge them on the same way that they had to judge everybody else, regardless of their disability. With Niall, they got on him for going off time quite a few times. And while he's deaf and he can't help that, they had to call it out. With Noah, they got on the fact that he's just stiff. And while he couldn't help that because of how much of his leg was a prosthetic, they still had to call him out on that. And with Amy, they talked about the fact that, I mean, one, Carrie Ann would call out lifts for her even though she couldn't really like feel her feet coming off the ground because they were prosthetics. But also the fact that she had to like point her toes and other things, other things like that. And they just, I think what they need, and the fact that, you know, in like her waltz or something, they like talked about the rise and fall in it, which again, due to her prosthetics at the time, she couldn't get that real rise and fall action. So while all those critiques were irritating because it couldn't be helped a lot of the time. It did end up making all three of them better dancers because their pros had to figure out, okay, how are we going to make this work so that you're not showing this as much as possible, as much as you already are. And I think the judges need to do that for Victoria for her to be the best that she can be. Right now, it just feels like they're just not really. It's almost like she's not getting any critiques. They're just talking about how amazing she is for getting through what she did. And while, yes, all of that is amazing, and I'm not taking any of that away from her, I would also like to hear of things that she needs to do to move forward. And I don't think they're really doing that with her. And I'm sure I'm not sure why that is. But. So yeah, at the end of the day, it was Derek and Nick in Jeopardy, and Derek left. I already talked about my feelings on that, so I don't need to go into it anymore. This week is Disney Week, which I'm kind of not too excited for, which is strange because I love Disney. But we already had one Disney Week this year, last season, number one. Number two, there's a lot of repeat songs. And number three, um, Nick is still there. So, you know, yeah, that's it. I will be back soon for the next video. I'm not going to say when, just because I don't know, but it will be sometime next week. Thanks for watching, and I will see you all soon. Bye.